Hi there, I'm Sue Wilson, and I have a beautiful octagonal card to share with you today. I'm going to be mixing and matching some of the pieces from two different sets. I'll show you how we do that. To introduce what we're going to be using today, I have the Sweet Wishes, a clear stamp set by Creative Expressions. From the frames and tags, I have the Sofia die. I'm going to be using the passion flower, but only the tiny little centers to show you how you can use just a little bit for a small floral element on your sentiment. And then from the larger noble set, we have the Lavish accented Octagons. We're going to be mixing that with the classic Adorned Octagons and making a frame with the double stitched Octagons. There we go. So I'll set these aside. Now there's a bit of cutting on this, but I've pre-done that, so you don't have to worry about having me poking out all little bits and things. But what I wanted to share with you was what I've done is with the Lavish accented, I've taken this ring, and from the classic Adorned, I've taken the smaller ring that's got the circles. Now these two will fit together so you can cut them at the same time. Or if you want to cut one and then put the other one inside, you can do that. But you'll end up with something that looks like this. Now it's got a very tight edge between them, so it's not quite as wide as if you used either one of them with their outside cutting edges. So what you need to do, just to change a little bit and make them work together, is using the cutting die, you're going to cut a backing. Now what I want to do is just back this center ring with the circles here with the blue. However, if you take one that's just cut with the cutting edge and you put it around it, what you'll see is it is actually a little bit too large. It'll show. So what you need to do is just trim it ever so slightly, and let's see if I can show you how much we're talking about. Let's see, can you see there's just about 1/8 of an inch around the edge. Trim that off, and then you can have a perfect little match that will go behind there. So let's glue that into place. And I'm going to be using a new little gadget I found here. These are our fine applicator bottles by Woodware. They come 3 to a pack, and I've just decanted some of our Cosmic Shimmer Dries clear glue into these. Really, really like the way these work. Tiny itty bitty little fine tip here. I'm going to be able to go all the way around the edge. Just put a little bit of glue. There we go. There. One more, or 2 more. And a little bit on the inside to catch that in line. Right around the edge. Put a little bit in the middle here. And then they have this rust-proof straight pin that goes inside of it that will keep it perfect. Okay, so what I want to do is pop that down just to cover that center section. Give it a second to set up. There we go. So you can see it doesn't come over the edge of that border between the two dies since you're using 2 different sets. Now what I want to do is back that so that the outer ring has the black border on it. So I've cut one of the larger ones. We're going to pop that into place. I'll go back and use some of my glue. Get that all the way around the edge here. This is really helpful too if you just want some really fine detail on your dies, but you don't want to use a spray glue. Pop that down. Give that a second. Get that on there. That's looking really nice. So you can see I've just done the blue center and the black outer edge there. So what I want to do next is I'm going to add the Sofia die. Now I've gone ahead and I've cut the Sofia die. I've used the outer ring and the cutting edge and then skipped the next die, the cutting die, and gone to the decorative piece inside of that. So we have this really pretty lacy design there. Okay. Going to put that right in the middle. I've just added a little bit of mounting foam. Square that up just even. Okay, and I'll tell you while we're here, I'll go ahead and put this onto our backing. I've done some blue Dusk and black mats with this, and my paper piercing around the edge. And so we've got the base here. So the next thing I want to do is add a little frame. So I've just cut a tiny little frame using some of the dies out of the center of the double stitched octagons. If you count from the center, it's the 4th and 5th die. Okay, just put those together and you get this really lovely, really fine frame, and you've got all your double stitching on both sides. Okay, I've added very, very thin bits of mounting foam just to raise it up a little bit for some dimension. And let's peel these off. A couple more. There we go. I'm going to pop that right down, catching the edge, showing off that beautiful detail in the center there. There we go. That looks pretty good. And our sentiment will go in the middle there. So I've stamped the Just For You from the Sweet Wishes. I've cut it out with one of the little stitched octagons. And I've used the center of the Lavish accented here as a little bit of a mat. Put a little bit of glue on this. There we go. Pop that right into the mat. Let me straighten that up a little. That's looking good. Mounting foam on the back, we're going to raise that up for a little bit of dimension as well. There we go. So now these are the little flowers I've done with the passion flower. Now what they are the centers of the flower, but just because I wanted a tiny little detail, I went ahead and put them together with this. So I'm just going to add a tiny bit here and maybe a little dot here, and we'll pop these into place. Just coming up the edge of our sentiment. I think bigger flowers would have just been too much on this card. There we go. And I'm going to finish it off with some pearl corners. You've got these lovely shapes that are left open from your octagons, so we're going to add a couple little pearl corners just to finish this card off nicely. There. And the last one. Right there. And there you have it. Isn't that card lovely? And so you can see, you can mix and match both of the dies from those octagon sets, and it looks really lovely together. I hope you've enjoyed the video. Don't forget, subscribe to our YouTube channel. There's so many more there for you.